Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the ForReel podcast. I am your host, Derrick Murray, and joining me for this wonderful, lighthearted rom-com episode is you, me, Michael, Zach, and Marty, who are all in Tuscany, to talk about You, Me, and Tuscany. The new rom-com starring, is it Halle? Halle, right? Halle Bailey. I always want to just call her young Halle Berry. That's just, I just always want to do that. And
he's prepared, folks. He's ready to go.
Oh, I am. And Mr. Bridgerton himself. So yeah, guys, rom-coms are so back. They're here. They're alive and well in theaters right now. So this movie is a very tried and true rom-com. So we don't need to talk about spoilers because there are none. If you've seen one, you've seen all. And joining us as a latecomer, because he has to talk about love. Nobody loves love more than Shawn.
Hello.
Good old Mr. Shawn. How are you? Good to see you.
I'm good. Very sorry for being late, but I'm very excited to talk about this movie. I'm sure there's a lot to discuss.
No, I'm sure. So I do, now that Shawn's here, I do want to just make a small addendum and then we'll kind of get our thoughts. But Shawn, I'm not going to spoil it here, but if you guys follow Shawn on Letterboxd, he has probably the most elite review of this movie I have ever read in my life. I have like literally cried laughing reading it. It is absolutely epic. I love it so much. If you don't follow Shawn, this is just a plug for Shawn because it is easily one of the best Letterboxd reviews I think I've ever read. It's so good.
Thank you very much.
It's amazing. Thank you so much for that. I enjoyed your Letterboxd review more than I enjoyed this movie, but that's we'll get into that. Okay, so like I said, rom-coms are back, guys. Rom-coms are here. They're alive and well. So I just kind of want to get everybody's sense of where you land in the genre. It's how Michael's reading it right now. You can see it.
That was very fun.
It's very good. So I want to get a sense of where everybody is in the genre itself. I think the rom-com genre, very much like music biopics, they all, if you get a tried and true rom-com, you're in for the cliches, you're in for the tropes. All of them just kind of operate the same. There's not a whole lot of messing around with, which truthfully is fine if that's your thing. Like the Hallmark Channel continues to exist for a reason. And I know because my girlfriend has it on in the house all the time. So it is a real thing and people love it. So just kind of want to get everybody's sense of where you feel about the genre in general. So Michael, we'll start with you.
I love rom-coms. They're kind of a stealth favorite genre for me because they're kind of scarce and I feel like they're sort of in a dire spot right now because a lot of them don't play in theaters and a lot of them are book talk movies. Although I did like the hell was it called? People We Meet on Vacation. I was about to say You, Me, and Everyone We Know. That's the band. It's like the People We Meet on Vacation I actually enjoyed on Netflix this year, and I felt like that was pretty close to a real movie. But when it's like the classic like Nancy Meyers stuff and like the really kind of great old Hollywood rom-coms or even like 90s or 2000s rom-coms, I'm all about it. And I'll jump at anything that looks like it could hit that mark.
Okay, nice. Marty, what about you?
I grew up on rom-coms. I love rom-coms. Most of the time when I was younger, if I wanted to go see something in theaters, it would be a rom-com. I feel like theaters are made for rom-coms, like you want to go see that in theaters. You want to be surrounded by people who are like leaving and feeling lovey-dovey, and like when it's just on streaming, it's like, what's the point? So like to have a rom-com back in theaters, it's like, yes, we're back.
Nice. Zach, how about yourself?
So I've always been a fan of the rom-com genre. It's unfortunate that over the last few years, they've been kind of delegated to the streaming with like Amazon and Netflix or whatever. But I like, similar to what Marty said, I kind of grew up on watching rom-coms. And so to kind of see that this one is in theaters and hopefully is successful is very good.
Okay. And Shawn?
I find rom-coms inoffensive. They're enjoyable when they can be enjoyable. We're definitely, like what everyone said, we're definitely in a different place now where, as opposed to the 90s and 2000s, where you would have people like Kate Hudson or Julia Roberts we're not getting those anymore. Nothing against Halle Bailey and John Renee Page. I mean, they're good in the movie, and we'll get into that, but they're not movie stars. But at the same time, people go to these movies because they like Bridgerton or they like Halle Bailey's music, for example. So it's a good way to get people into the theaters. And I was able to take my mom to this movie, and she doesn't watch a lot of stuff in theaters. So when a movie can do that, it's just a nice, fun time, and you leave the theater being like, you know what? I had a good time. I'm not going to watch it again, not going to remember, but I had a nice night out. I can't fault the movie for that, because for a lot of people, that's just what the rom-com needs to do. Just give you a good time. Give you an hour and a half, 2 hours of just people in beautiful places, just doing really interesting things. I don't know. So yeah.
Okay. It seems that I am the odd man out on this podcast. I find the rom-com genre to be insufferable most of the time. It is probably one of my least favorite genres that I feel subject to quite often. Like I said, my girlfriend is she should actually be hosting this podcast instead of me, because she has a lot more to say about the rom-com genre than I do, that are a little bit more kinder words and maybe in line with everybody else. So I've seen more than I can count. Like I've seen a lot of them. And it's just one of those genres. It's a lot like music biopic genres, where I just don't find the repetition and the cliches and the tropes all that endearing. And I can, one of the reasons we're actually going to talk about it later, but I can maybe count on one hand how many of them I actually enjoy. But to Shawn's point, I mean, they are inoffensive. It's not like I sit down and watch a rom-com and I'm so offended that this even exists. Like it's not like that. And I very much appreciate that people love these things. And I'm happy for you. I love that for you. I really, really do. That's not sarcasm. I really do love for everybody else. That's great. So it sounds like everybody but me is going to be kind of positive on this movie. So let's talk about You, Me, and Tuscany. So this is a new tried and true rom-com. I actually went and looked up the list of kind of some of the movies that IMDb classifies as rom-coms, and I was like, no. I was having that argument with my girlfriend as well, of like, just because there's romance in a movie does not automatically make it a rom-com. There are certain things you have to do, I think, plot-wise, that would classify it as that. So let's kind of just dig into You, Me, and Tuscany a little bit. We'll give some brief thoughts up top. So I'll work my way back. So Shawn, just kind of give your overall thoughts about You, Me, and Tuscany. And reminder, there is no possible way to spoil this movie, because it doesn't exist like that. So feel free to talk about whatever you want. There's no spoiler lift here. So
yeah, like, what's gonna happen. I mean, it's a cute movie. I mean, there's just something endearing about watching someone just trying to live their life despite their personal setbacks that I just find endearing, and I can't help but get behind, because we've all had that. We've all had times where we've been down, and I guess some people may see it as sort of motivation to go out and live life. I think this movie has a positive message. I don't think people should go to Italy on a whim and everything will fall into place and you'll meet John Renee Page. Like, that's not going to happen. But I just like what the movie has to say. You know the familiar beats, but I guess when you watch so many movies that, there's a lot of heavy subject matter. I mean, we just got the drama last week, and it's a very heavy movie. So I guess for this, it just kind of felt like a nice balance to have something where it's like, what's going to happen, but you can just sit back, relax, and know that even when there are sad scenes and people are down their luck and they think nothing's going to get better, that something's going to happen that's going to turn all around. And yeah, it might be lazy. It might be an easy thing to do, but I think sometimes you just need that in the midst of every other kind of movie that we see. It's nice sometimes. It's a breath of fresh air.
Okay. Zach, how about you?
I really like this one. I have to say, I think that it's nice, like I said earlier, to see a romantic comedy in theaters. And similar to Shawn's thing, I got to take my aunt to see this movie. I literally haven't seen a movie with her since Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. So it's nice that,
God.
This is way better than that. just already, just in like speaking of what you said earlier, Derrick, about musical biopics. It's kind of funny how that anyway. But yeah, I like this one a lot. It's definitely not like I saw the tweet saying that I think I can't remember who put the tweet out, but somebody said that studios are looking at this movie to see if it's successful. And I don't think it's very fair that this movie is the one that we're choosing to do that with, because as much as I liked it, it's not like a 10 out of 10, oh my God, like for sure. But I definitely really enjoyed it. I thought the chemistry between Halle Bailey and Regé-Jean was very good. And yeah, it's just a classical rom-com. You know what you're going to get, and I got it, and I had fun. And it looked more like Atlanta, Georgia than Tuscany.
Which is wild because they did actually film in Tuscany. So.
Oh, did they? I thought
yes,
they shot. Really? Okay.
Yeah. No, they did.
All right.
They did. Listen. This is elevated Hallmark paired with Netflix Sheen. Like that's where this movie kind of lands. Marty, how'd you feel about Yumi in Tuscany?
I thought it was cute. It's cute and it's maybe a little too glossy and simple, but I had a nice time with it. There were a few times where it's like, yeah, I want the romance to be a little bit more grandiose, maybe a knight in shining armor here or there, but I thought the side characters were really funny, and usually like that's what makes a good rom-com for me. Like the romance is good, but if you don't have good side characters, then what are you doing? Like, and so this one had two really strong side characters and a few other so good ones, but like two really, really strong ones. And I liked that. I liked the chemistry of the characters. I could have used a little less montages of laughing and maybe some more actual conversations. But I think for the most part, like this is a good time. I saw this twice, once at a press screening. I did have to go see it again because I was very tired and fell asleep for a good like 10 minutes towards the end. So I went to go see it again last night, and the theater was packed. People were laughing, and like that's what you want out of a rom-com, like a packed theater full of people just like having the best time. When they had that little shade room comment, like my theater like literally like bursted into laughter.
Okay. And Michael.
I think the way I've described it is that it's like a book talk movie without a book, because it's just, I think it's fine. I think it's very plain. And my main problem is that I think you have two lead actors who aren't very good. I didn't see Little Mermaid, so this was kind of my first long-term exposure to Halle Bailey. I really don't think she's that great. I think she kind of delivers every line like she's talking to a kindergartner. Hello, how are you? Like, it's just like she feels very fake to me. And Regé-Jean, I think, is a little bit better. He's a little bit more charismatic, but he's kind of just doing his Bridgerton thing again. And I don't think he's very expressive. I just think he's very handsome, and like that gets him a long way. It just kind of, there are parts, the first like 30 minutes of it are horrible. Like it is legitimately bottom of the barrel until Regé-Jean becomes a bit more of an integrated character into the story, just because it's just like kind of written at a fourth grade level, and it's just very, very hard to watch. But eventually, like the stuff with his family and all of that gets cuter and a little bit easier to hang in with, and like ultimately I did get into the experience of like the audience enjoying it so much, and I think that the audience has more awareness of how like silly and dumb it is than the actual movie does, even though I think the movie has some inkling of that. I just wish it tried a little harder. Like, I don't know, it was just kind of like microplastics. Like I just was like, this isn't that great.
Oh, that's it's funny coming from the rom-com king over here. But you know what? I actually really agree with Michael a lot. But it also brings everything down. I think one of the key things that makes a rom-com work really well is really twofold. Marty, you kind of touched on it, and then Michael, you kind of touched on it as well. So you need a really good supporting cast. That supporting cast, all of your side characters, they all have to be people that almost run away with the movie. That's kind of how you need them. And like, we don't need movies made about them, but they are very small, those characters in those settings. And if your supporting cast isn't basically holding up the foundation of the movie, well then, yeah, it's not really going to work that well. I think this movie tries, but I think a lot of those side characters are sidelined for my other big issue with the movie. And that is Halle Bailey. For a good rom-com, you need to be a very good rom-com actress. You don't have to be a great actress, but you have to be very good at this specific thing. So J-Lo is a good example where, like, I actually don't think J-Lo is that good of an actress overall. Like, in totality, I don't think she's really that good. But she is very good at being a rom-com actress. So however you want to define that, she's very good at that. And so you need a lead actress who can basically shoulder the whole movie, and you want to follow her. You're charmed by her. You're won over by her. You buy into her neuroses. You buy into her, whims of just doing things, making mistakes, whatever that case may be. And I'm sorry, but I do not buy any of it from Halle Bailey. I just don't think she's very convincing. She's very sweet. She's likable, but she's not somebody that I feel you can shoulder an entire rom-com on and then just run with it. And so when Mr. Bridgerton is the best part of your movie, we got an issue. That's a little, because I think his whole shtick is just, I'm hot. And hey, look, more power to you, man. If I could look like him, that'd be fucking amazing. But I too would just stand there and aura farm, which is basically what he does in this movie. So I think those things really don't work. I look at some of the rom-coms that I actually really enjoy, and a lot of them have people who are just expert at this. A lot of them are people who, your Julia Roberts, your Sandy Bees, even your Emma Stones. Like, they just get the rom-com, and I just don't think Halle Bailey can do it. But yeah, I walked away from this like, okay, I'm literally never going to think about this movie again. I also take great offense that Anna called me boring for being a podcast guy. How dare you? I thought that was really rude. Okay, so let's kind of just dig into that a little bit more. So I know we kind of just gave our general thoughts. We all think it's cute. We all think it's fine. So guys, let's just open discussion a little bit, but highlight some things that you think really, really worked. I know we talked about its charm. We kind of dissected the rom-com in general. But what are some things that you guys really liked about the movie? And then we'll talk about things you didn't. But yeah, what are some things you actually really liked? You can get specific too if you want.
I liked the family. I thought it was cute that Nia from My Big Fat Greek Wedding had a cameo at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because the aspect of the family being so involved in Mateo and Halle Bailey's life and their potential engagement, they were the funniest, most charismatic characters in the whole movie. And I thought that every time it was kind of Halle interacting with them, even she had more chemistry with them, and it was sort of nice to see her integrate into this and kind of find her sense of belonging again. I almost wish that was the whole movie. I almost wish it was just kind of like a travel movie where she meets this family and just kind of that it was almost even simpler, because I think that really worked. And then this kind of contrived romance comes into the picture, and I would even say sort of distracts from that. But I would say that was kind of my favorite aspect of the movie, aside from just Tuscany being pretty.
I agree. Like, I thought like Francesca was like a fantastic side character. Like, you can see like she's developing that kind of friendship that she has with her best friend at home. With Francesca, she can talk to her kind of more about these little serious bits, because Francesca's the silly girl. She's having an affair with the plumber. Like, she's just having a good time. Plus, like, she's kind of the good bridge between her and food, because like she's doing the dessert. She's like, oh, you like come back and cook with us. And I liked the father character. I do wish the grandmother had a little bit more like at least like one more scene with them that was kind of like awkward and like bumping up against each other, so that it's like when you get to that bus stop scene, it's just like, okay, Nona does care about me. Like this is my Nona now. But yeah, I think the family aspect of this film was definitely the strongest.
I did like the scene when Halle Bailey was making the bruschetta and Regé-Jean Page comes in and he's talking about his, you know, his past and everything, because he's not in the movie. Like the first 45 minutes of the movie, he's in that one scene where he like steals her sandwich, and I'm watching the movie, I'm like, he's not in this movie at all. And then obviously he comes in and his role is revealed. But for most of the movie, I was like, but like, I don't know anything about you. So then getting that scene when he was talking about his parents and why he does what he does, I thought that was sweet and cute. Again, it's an easy trope to do in rom-coms, but it was kind of nice to have that moment because it just, you know, I was able to buy the relationship a bit more after that.
It's so funny that you flagged that scene because that's actually the moment where I was like, damn, this dude's a bad actor. Like when
Really?
there was the part, if you're talking about the bit where they're in the car before they get to the vineyard, he's like,
Oh,
me
yeah.
and my family spent a lot of time together at this point, and I loved that we were always together. I was like, holy God, this is a TV actor. I've never seen one.
I don't think he's that bad in the movie. I mean, he's shown himself to be good in other movies like Black Bag. I thought he was good in. Trying to.
Oh, I didn't like him in Black Bag. That's
Really?
Everybody's favorite movie, The Gray Man.
Oh, of course. In Black Bag, that was actually where I was like, oh, he doesn't have it, because like that
Really?
movie's all like high caliber actors, and then I felt like he was in there given like CW acting and like really stuck out like a sore thumb.
I'll kind of chime in and actually agree with Michael. So I don't hate him in Black Bag, but that's more of a testament to everybody else lifting him up than it is like his own merit. I remember walking away from Black Bag being like, oh, he was actually fine. But everybody else is just so good. Like they're so above him that he does seem like bottom rung. But I get what you're saying.
And it's also just that people were like, oh, he should be the next James Bond. And then I watched that and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that's not happening.
No.
Yeah, I agree.
My favorite part of this movie is not anything in the actual movie, funnily enough. It's the fact that this movie has a post-credits blooper reel.
Yeah.
That's something that is like a lost art now. And just the fact that this, like, it just adds to the fact that it's kind of that vintage rom-com feeling I really like that. Yeah.
But why was it 95% just those two women though?
Yeah.
That was a little odd.
Because they were improvising. I don't know.
No, for sure. Like I thought they were funny, and honestly, like I was like, where's their movie? And they were like, here it is. Here's 55 takes of them saying the same. Like they. And I was glad they were in it, but I was like, where are the actual Halle and Regé and all their fun?
They weren't improvising.
Right? Oh yeah, no, they were reading that. They were reading the teleprompter clearly.
That's a good point, though, Zach. I miss blooper reels so much. Like it is perhaps one of my favorite film devices that we just don't use anymore. Dude, we used to do it for Pixar. How friggin' cool is that? If we used to have bloopers for an animated movie, and it was.
They got to bring that back for Toy Story 5.
They have to. Like they have to. It's so sad that that's lost. But it was. I remembered watching the bloopers for this one, and it's just those two women. And I remember thinking, like, why don't we just do this across the? There's no way people like Francesca doesn't have a banger blooper reel. I like that too. I enjoyed the supporting cast. I think the supporting cast is probably the best part of the movie. I actually wish they were in it more. I wish they. I do kind of wish they leaned a little bit more into like my Big Fat Greek Wedding style over like the contrived romance. Mainly just because I don't think that either one of them are very good, and so I just don't buy their falling in love because I'm just not on board with Halle Bailey as a star. But I really did love the supporting cast. I'm going to blank on his name, but the taxi driver and his little coochie car. That that actually made me laugh. I actually laughed when they said that, and that was kind of fun. And I almost wish that he was given a little bit more to be like the conscious. I think a lot of this movie that this one is very much has a lot of ties to something like While You Were Sleeping. It's got a very similar vibe to it. And in that one, Sandy B does have a sidekick, or at least somebody in the family that knows the secret and is always trying to like either egg her on or dissuade her from her bad decisions. And I feel like she doesn't really have that here. Like she does, but like she doesn't call her friend for like 5 days. Like she never calls the friend that's supposed to yell at her about it. And then she's got this taxi driver who's constantly giving her advice, but he's not in it enough. So I guess we can kind of transition into the things that didn't work for us. And I think that's one of them, where you have a supporting cast that's stronger than your leads, and then you kind of downplay your supporting cast to like push your leads forward. And I feel like that makes the movie just overall imbalanced. I feel like you can do all of the same rom-com trope things, but just give your strong supporting cast a little bit more time to shine. And I think your movie's a little bit better on the rom-com scale in general. But let's talk about it. So what are some things that didn't work for you guys? Marty, I'll start with you.
I think the biggest problem is like it doesn't feel like the writer's ever been to Italy. Like yeah, the house has like a washer and dryer. What Italian like house on like the top of a hill is gonna have a washer and dryer? Like, at least a washer.
Out of here.
But like, and then also the house too is just like too fancy. Like I don't know. Like I feel like this guy would have had like, I don't know, maybe like a little bit more rustic looking of a house, but that's beside the point. But I feel like there's such an imbalance. Like we're supposed to be like getting to know this relationship, yet we barely know anything about the like romance character. Like it's like, okay, yes, his parents are gone. Yes, he like basically has embedded himself in this family, and he just works a lot. Like we don't really know anything about his past relationships other than this one girl that he possibly liked, that his like brother cousin also was kind of into, but like he really doesn't have like much fleshing out of his character like at all. So I was like, that needs to be a little bit more there. I feel like we're not enough scenes of her and just like the family like hanging out. Like it also like made no sense that one time where she's like, I've got plans, and he's like, what plans? And I was like, yeah, girl, like weren't you supposed to like create a thing of like all these things you want to do while you're in Tuscany? And then it's just kind of her being like pushed into these different scenarios instead of like things organically happening. I don't know. There's just, I also feel like maybe she should have been there when he fell and like went to the hospital with him, because like when the dad like falls and has to go to the hospital, it just kind of feels like out of nowhere. There's just so many times where it's just like, wait, what's going on here? And same with the editing too. Like so many conversations, it's like we're seeing the outside of the car when they're like talking, and then they like cut into the car and then they're like not saying anything. I just thought like sometimes the editing was a little strange. The like kind of formation of the scenes was strange, but like I don't know, like there's still something there that I found enjoyable, but it's like kind of in this like weird puzzled mess that it's hard to explain, that it's like I enjoyed this movie, but I can't put my finger on how.
I love that. What else, guys? What else didn't work for you? I got a list, but I'm the wrong person to ask, so I'm going to let you guys talk.
I'll quickly say, sorry, Michael, you go ahead.
Okay.
No, you go ahead.
I think you can really tell that it's a white writer and a white director. Like there's something very sterile about it, and I just, I don't need to dive too deeply into this topic, but I feel like it would have been different if it were a black writer and a black director. Like I really feel like this whole movie is just like trying to sell me something that I'm just not buying. Like that's just how right, exactly. That's just kind of how I just am like, this feels very transactional to me. Like these two people feel like co-workers who are just trying to, get through this without any HR problems. and it just like feels very, just like, I don't know, it's just make something that feels genuine. Like I feel like there's this kind of ironic detachment to the way this movie kind of doles out the tropes in a very kind of like, here it is, fuckers, like kind of way. And it just like is trying to sell me that like it's so cute and fun, and I'm just kind of like, right, but like really talented people could have made me care about this, and I just don't. And even if it was cheesy, I could have cared.
Yeah.
Do you want to go and I can go after?
No, I was just gonna say that what Derrick said earlier about this movie being filmed in Tuscany, I had no idea. The cinematography of this movie looks like it's terrible. Genuinely, it looks like they were filming on a backlot in Atlanta, and it's just not. Like I said, when Derrick told me they filmed in Tuscany, I was shocked because like it looks like a streaming movie. So it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. When she runs back to Regé-Jean Page at the end, and she's like singing "Let Me Love You" by Mario. It looked like a green screen, like really, really badly, and that really surprised.
Even a lot of the driving scenes you guys were talking about look poorly green screen. Just like
the driving scenes are horrendously shot. Just horrendously shot. Go for it, Sean.
For me, the biggest issue was the length of the movie, and that's weird because it comes in at I think an hour 45, but it really drags itself and really spreads itself thin, especially when Matteo comes back to Italy. And I know that's the crux of the movie, and I don't know how you work around that, but he comes back and she's ready to reveal everything. And I thought that's when everything was going to fall apart. And then he goes along with it because he finally feels accepted by his family. So that drags on the plot for another 25 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe even. And then they have the dad falls, and they have the whole barrel race so we can see Matteo and Regé-Jean Page's relationship and the Rocky relationship. And they kept going and going and going. And I guess because we was building up the whole time and we knew what the fallout was going to be, when it kept, even though that is what ended up happening, when it kept going and going and going, and then at the end, she runs to Regé-Jean Page so quickly, like the bus stop scene, it happens within the last like 5 minutes of the movie. It just went on for too long, I think. And when the movie isn't even 2 hours, that's a problem with the material that you're working with.
I'm not even going to lie. That scene that Sean mentioned where the dad fell, I thought the movie was over then. I thought that's where we would get our romantic, like, I love you too. And the movie kept going for another, 20 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
And
I thought you were saying it was going to have some avant-garde ending where the dad died and it just cut to credits. What was really important here?
Would have been the best rom-com ever. Yeah, I think too, for me, like I've got a litany of issues, but I'm not going to list them all off here. It's not that kind of show. But aside from me just not really buying into Halle Bailey as a lead actress, because I think that really does bring it down. I do think there's a lot of laziness when it comes to the tropes and cliches, and I think that you can use them, and you can absolutely use them as stock. It's fine, but you got to just give a little bit more, you got to be a little bit more genuine. And I think the way that things look, I think the way that they operate, I think the way that they just feel contrived, even to people who enjoy that kind of thing, I think that really just takes you out to where you can't really enjoy the tropes because they're not really that fleshed out. They're just like, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to do this. It just feels like a checklist. We're just checking down the boxes of things that we need to do. And there's nothing there. And then you've got an actress who I just don't think can really bring that stuff to life and lift it off the page. And so you have this really lazy script. You have this really lazy movie with an actress who can't make anything out of it. And that really brings it down a lot. And then also, probably my biggest issue is not only is Halle Bailey not that good of an actress, but that character just doesn't have any problems. Like, I know she's supposed to be down on her luck. She's got no money. She flies to Tuscany. She's got no place to stay. But like, I never bought for a second that her life was in disarray and she needs a man to fix it. That is a conceit that happens all the time in rom-coms. It's one of my favorite Family Guy jokes where They start a rom-com and he's like, quiet for the next 90 minutes. I'm going to show you all of your problems can be solved with my dick. That is basically rom-coms, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. Like, not even that happens because she just doesn't have problems. Like, I never bought for a second that
her mom died.
Okay, cool. Like a year and a half ago. Get it together, lady. Like, I don't know.
You heard it here first. if your parent dies, get over it. That should be the full quote.
I was in my theater when the first time she goes into the kitchen.
Boo-hoo.
Okay, so the first time when I was in the theater, a guy behind me, when she goes into the kitchen for that first time, and the whole family's like, "Oh, you should cook, and she's like, "Oh, I don't cook anymore." And then the second time when the dad is like, Will you cook? Will you be my sous chef? The guy behind me was like, "Get in the kitchen!" And I lost it. I thought it was so. I was like,
"Oh no!"
Somebody should have said that. That was amazing. Super misogynistic, but it was very funny to me. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just don't buy her problems for a second, like at all. Like I know they're supposed to be there, but they all just feel so incredibly manufactured. I never bought at all that like she was down on her luck and she had no other place to go, because she does though. Like I don't know. I just didn't buy it. I just didn't buy it for a second. Maybe I'm crazy, but I didn't buy it.
Her mom is still alive. You're right. That's the twist. She actually didn't die. Right. You missed the post-credit scene where her mom's grave, where the hand comes out.
Yeah, for sure. I missed those bloopers. That's
end credits.
Wow. That was the last blooper. It was like Carrie. Her hand shot out. Yeah.
Halle Bailey's mom will return and you, me, and Dennis.
Oh wow. Okay, so let's just kind of go around and do a couple of final thoughts here. Unless there's something you guys really want to dig into about this movie, I don't know. I feel like even on the bones, there's just not a whole lot to dig into. But go ahead. We'll do some final thoughts. So Marty, I'll go ahead and start with you.
I think the film is enjoyable enough, but like we're talking about, if the second you start putting critical thought into this movie, it just like really unravels. So it's like, I would say, a nice time to have in theaters with your friends. Like, you want to go see something cute, something silly, go laugh, have fun. But then the second you leave, don't think too much into it.
Yeah. Michael, how about you?
Don't think is a great mantra for this movie. Don't think about it. Don't think about Love and Basketball or Brown Sugar or all these other, great black romantic comedies that have been made over the years. This is the one. It's all on this one. We've never done anything better, right? Get to the theater. Chop, or we'll never get another one.
We gotta save rom-coms and black cinema, guys. We have to. And this is the movie.
And then just don't think about it. Okay. Go see it.
All right.
That's where we're at.
Shut up and watch the movies. All right, Shawn. Final thoughts here.
Yeah. I had a nice time. The experience of just getting out with my mom and just taking her was better than the movie itself, but seeing her have a smile on her face was just enough for me. So if you have someone that doesn't watch a lot of movies, but could use a nice pick-me-up and watch something that doesn't require a lot of train thought, then this is the perfect movie to see right now. The weather's getting nicer. It's nice to go out. We got a very busy summer movie season ahead of us, but this is a nice gap that's being filled right now until the real stuff comes out.
And Zach.
Final thoughts? I really enjoyed this one. It's definitely not anything I'm going to think about longer than probably by the time we're done this podcast. But I just think it's a really fun time at the movies. And if you shut your brain off and go, it's going to be a fun time. It's really funny, though. I've heard all you guys talk about like crowd reactions and stuff. When I went and seen this at Thursday at 3:30, there was me, my aunt, and like 3 other people.
On unemployed time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, I mean, obviously we've established that these are just not made for me, but kind of similar to Shawn, actually. This was one of the first movies my girlfriend actually wanted to see in theaters. My girlfriend is your typical casual moviegoer. She maybe sees like 5 movies in the theater all year, and then the rest she's just like, I'll just wait till it comes out on streaming, or I'll catch up on my shows, or I'll watch Hallmark. Like she's not a moviegoer. Like she likes movies, but we could not be farther apart. I see a lot of movies by myself, but this is one she actually asked me to take her to, and that just doesn't happen. And so, you know, I enjoyed her enjoying the movie more than I enjoyed the movie. And when I tell you guys, I love that for you, I really do mean it. I'm not being sarcastic. I genuinely, it genuinely makes me happy that people have a movie and a genre that brings them out of their house, that brings them to the theater, that gets to bond with your relatives or your significant other. Like, honestly, even if I thought the movie is absolute trash, I will champion 1,000 of these if that's what it does, right? If it brings people together and it brings them to the theater, that's the kind of movie experience you need. It doesn't really matter whether or not it's a movie made for me. It's not, and I've more than accepted that, and I knew it wasn't going to be. But she had so much fun. She enjoyed it. She didn't even find it to be one of her better rom-coms. She was kind of like, yeah, that was cute. I enjoyed it. It's not one I'll ever go out and watch again. But she was like, yeah, when it shows up on TNT, like, yeah, I'll probably just watch it. And I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good place for it. I think that's where it's probably going to land anyway. So, yeah, I did not enjoy this movie, but I enjoyed my girlfriend enjoying this movie, and that's what got its 2 stars from me.
I think that does speak to, like, I say a lot that something that's really missing is like normal movies. I think like ever since the pandemic, there's sort of this itch to go very high concept and kind of niche in some way or another. Like, I think like if you were to tell just like, and I know the movie has done really well, but I think with a certain audience, but if you were to like tell the average person, like, let's go see this rom-com, the drama, like a lot of people would be like, oh my God. Like, I just wanted to, I think like this and Project Hail Mary are kind of great examples of what I'm talking about. Just very much like movies that are for a general audience and aren't
Popcorn
ashamed
movies.
to be that. Yeah. And I think that that's, even like, regardless of my feelings about this, I think that that's very needed. And I think that's how we're going to ultimately get people back, because I think a lot of these studios are making movies for a specific like cinephile audience. And like that does have, you know, there's some people who like that, but I think that you need movies like this just as badly in the ecosystem, and I'm glad to have that.
Yeah, no, I like that point a lot. Normal movies. I love my smug cinephile life, but man, just sometimes a good crowd pleaser is kind of all you need. And you know, again, it brings people together, and that's awesome. So we're gonna wrap up here in a little bit, but I do want to just kind of talk about rom-coms again, not this one in particular. But I do think that there are some that do it very well. And there are some very good rom-coms out there. Ones that even win over this cold ass heart. So I kind of want to just, we'll go around a couple times, and I want you guys to maybe just shout out some that you really like, some that kind of make the top of your list. This doesn't have to be your exact favorites. It can just be ones that you're like, yeah, I actually really like this rom-com. This is one of my favorite rom-coms, or I watch this all the time. So I'll go first. So one of my personal favorites, I know that this is actually going to be a controversial take, because this movie is, the longer it exists, the more people pan it, and rightfully so, because it is problematic from the start, and it only ages like fine milk the longer we watch it, but I watch it every year. I adore this movie. It is one of my all-time favorites, and that is Love Actually. Yes, I am such a sucker for this movie. I love it so much. Problems and all. I don't care. I don't care. I love this movie. I feel like we have tried to make Love Actually every year since, and every time we do, it's just diminishing returns, and nothing even comes close to it. But yeah, I think Love Actually is just, I love it. I love it. It's all around us. Yeah, so that's one for me. Let's do Shawn.
I
What
can
about
go
you?
now.
Oh yeah, no, go for it, Zach.
Now go
Sorry.
ahead.
My answer is a bit unconventional, but you might. I'm not quite sure what you guys are thinking actually. My answer is Phantom Thread. I don't know if I classify that as a romantic comedy or not.
It's funny.
But
That
you
is
know,
such
like,
a cinephile answer. That is such we just talked about normal movies, Zach.
my real answer to this question is Defending Your Life, the Albert Brooks, Meryl Streep movie. I actually, funnily enough, watched it for the first time before seeing this movie, and it's been on my list for a while. And Albert Brooks is one of my favorite filmmakers. I talked about Albert Brooks last week, I believe, when we talked about the drama. And this is one that it's been on my watch list for a while. And I think that is it the only rom-com Meryl Streep's done? No, she's done multiple. But
There's like It's Complicated and
yeah. But yeah, this is definitely in my top at least 3 rom-coms ever. With you got Albert Brooks in there, and then Rip Torn as well. Like it's just awesome.
Nice, Shawn.
This one was mentioned before, and it's a basic answer, but When Harry Met Sally, it's a classic for a reason. R.I.P. Rob Reiner, like Billy Crystal, I think of Meg Ryan, like beautiful movie. If I were to go more contemporary, I watched How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days last year. I thought that was very enjoyable. Matthew McConaughey is very charming. Kate Hudson is great. They have great chemistry together. Even 500 Days of Summer, I enjoy. That's a nice cute movie. It's not big in any way, but that was a nice one. So like I said before, not one of my most favorite genres, but every once in a while there's one that wins me over. So I would say those are 3 that come to mind if I were to name my favorites.
Those are good. Marty.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is one of my absolute favorites, but one that I will rewatch every year. It's every Christmas. I've watched it every single holiday season since I was a kid. Last holiday with Queen Latifah. Yep. It is like literally such I'm like giddy just talking about it. Like I think she's fantastic. I think it hits every single beat that a rom-com should. It focuses more on the comedy. You still get to know about her partner, why she's interested in him. He has this chase for her. And like I think it is the perfect rom-com, perfect holiday movie. It is a feel-good movie that I think everyone, no matter who you are, how old you are, what your references are, you can sit down, watch this, and have just a fantastic time.
That stars a young Halle Bailey. She's like 6 years old in that movie.
Oh, is she really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the cast list. Like her and her sister were in it. I don't know who they are.
That's wild.
Full circle moment right there, guys.
That is wild. Michael, what about you?
I would say the 4 that I want to talk about would be my absolute favorite is Silver Linings Playbook, even though it's directed by nobody. I think that is a great example of like a movie that is like touches on some darker themes, but is ultimately very kind of winning and sweeping and romantic. And I love Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence together. I really, really want them to reunite in something. I have 2 boomer picks. As Good as It Gets has always been a favorite of mine, even though I feel like if I were to watch it again, I'd be like, ooh, because it's just Jack Nicholson with OCD kind of hounding this waitress to be with him and like helping her son get. But it was like a very like kind of foundational movie. I stole my dad's DVD of it when I was like 7, and I kind of latched onto it for some reason. Even older than that, I would say Marty with Ernest Borgnine. I watched that last year and I cried. It's sort of like I'm stealing from someone I follow on Letterboxd, but they said it's like kind of a precursor to Punch Drunk Love, like someone who feels like a total outcast who finds someone who cares and wants to listen to him, and I loved that. And then my kind of sneak one that I feel like very few people have seen is Down with Love.
Oh my God, that's on my list, Michael. That's on my list.
It's a screwball comedy with Renee Zellweger and Ewan McGregor about this kind of cat and mouse game between this like eccentric player and a journalist who's trying to expose him. It is so funny, and the filmmaking in it is incredible. Like, I legitimately think it should be in the Criterion Collection. It has better direction and production design than 95% of movies you'll see, which is pretty incredible considering that it's the director of Ant-Man and the Breakup. Like, I don't know what happened to him after this, but like, he locked in. I think it's absolutely one of my favorites. I just watched it again recently and showed my partner, and I was like, yeah, this is an incredible film. So that's, I would say, those four.
The perfect double feature for Down with Love is Pillow Talk with Rock Hudson. Like, those two movies are like literally like perfect to watch side by side, especially because Down with Love steals a few things, like, you know, when they're doing the phone call scene and it kind of looks like they're like having sex a little bit, they steal that from Pillow Talk, and it's like really good.
I like this. I like this double feature. I do love Down with Love. I actually own it on DVD. And I remembered watching it the first time, and very similarly, I was like, why is this so good right now? Like, everything I like about movies, like, this is really good. Yeah, that is genuinely one of my favorites. I'm gonna list another one here. I'll list a couple. So a couple that are in my like all-time canon. I actually think The Wedding Singer is Adam Sandler's best rom-com. I find most of Adam Sandler's stuff to be intolerable at best. But this one is kind of his this is my favorite. This is one of my favorite speeds of Adam Sandler. I like when he goes full drama, and I think he's really, really good at that. But I like when he's a little bit more everyman and not quite as man-child. And I think he really nails it here. I think the chemistry between him and Drew Barrymore is the best it's ever been, no matter how many times they try to recreate it. I think the closest you get is 50 First Dates, but even that is, like, to me, is a little bit below their chemistry in The Wedding Singer. I think they're just incredible in there. I think that one has a phenomenal supporting cast. I think I just really, really love that banging 80s soundtrack, like one of the best movie soundtracks to come out in the last couple of years. So really, really dig that one. I know we mentioned 500 Days of Summer. Love and Basketball was mentioned. That is easily top 5. I just adore that movie. And then the last two I'll shout out. Sleepless in Seattle. That is one of those ones that I was raised on, and I very clearly remember my mother just playing the shit out of that soundtrack. Like, that's the boomer that's the boomer pick for me. But I love Sleepless in Seattle. I think Meg Ryan is just an elite rom-com actress. She's so good at that. Her and Tom Hanks, even though they like never actually meet, somehow have incredible chemistry with like them never talking to each other. Like, it doesn't make any sense. There's no reason that movie should work, and it does. And then I don't know why what's his name? Hugh Grant makes the list twice. But Notting Hill is just I just adore Notting Hill. I love that movie so much. I am just a boy standing in front of a girl. So yeah, very, very much love that movie. So we'll snake back. So Michael, you got any others you want to shout out?
I mentioned it earlier, but I actually did see Brown Sugar earlier this year. It's kind of a music industry rom-com. Mm-hmm. Very underrated and worth shouting out, I would say. Yeah, that's what comes to mind.
Okay. Marty.
This might be considered more of a rom-dram, but I see it as a romantic comedy. Sarah Polley's Take This Waltz. It's like one of the most romantic movies I've ever seen, because it doesn't just show romance in a beautiful life. Like, it shows life. Like, there's a scene where they're doing like water polo, and then it's like women of all different ages, like in the shower, just chatting afterwards. And the way it's shot is just like the most beautiful thing in the world. It's just showing like women of all ages, like just being playful and catty and fun, and just like everybody's having like this beautiful time. It just makes life, like, you know, sometimes like when you walk outside and the sun is setting just right, like it gives you that feeling, that movie. I love it. And then like a few more like kind of silly ones are like Party Girl. I love Party Girl. It's like if you want that specific time in the 90s where it's just like things are a little grungy, but then it's also like kind of high camp. Like Party Girl is a great rom-com. 13 Going on 30. Like I love ones that have like high concepts. It's just so silly and so fun. The fashion is great. It's like that perfect encapsulation of like what is it, like 2004? Like you feel that time with 13 Going on 30. And then another one that I don't know most people consider a rom-com, but Anne Hathaway does. So Gone Girl. I think like that's a great rom-com.
That's good. I like that. I'm glad Gone Girl has made the list. Zach,
Gone Girl and Phantom Thread. We got.
Yeah, I know, man.
There's two that I want to mention, and then one I kind of want to throw to you guys because I haven't seen it, but I haven't heard it mentioned yet in this conversation. But the two that I'll mention are Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which is another one that, like, as a Canadian, I kind of have to mention that movie. Like that's kind of like, I don't have my Nirvana shirt on today, but like it's kind of but. And then the other one that I'll mention is Just Friends. It's got Amy Smart and Ryan Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
That's one that's similar to Marty with Last Holiday. I grew up watching all the time, and it's just one of my favorites. But one that I haven't seen you guys mention, I haven't seen it. I was gonna watch it for this pod, but I wasn't able to get around to it. But Rye Lane.
Rye Lane is fantastic.
Oh my god, I forgot about Rye Lane. Yeah. Oh, that's an adorable movie.
It's so good. It's fantastic.
Zach, as soon as this podcast is over,
I got it.
Please go fire up Rye Lane.
My younger brother isn't really a romantic comedy guy, and he's even the one that's like, we got to watch Rye Lane. It's like,
the chemistry in that one is like top tier.
Incredible.
Yes. Rye Lane is easily one of the best rom-coms to come out in like the last 10 years. Like, and it like channels like that Linklater Before Sunset type of thing of like, just it's kind of a hangout movie, but it's just oh my god, dude, Rye Lane is elite.
Derrick, you're speaking my language. You said Linklater, and my brain activated like a sleeper agent.
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah, that's a really good pick. I do want to just real quick. Are we allowing him to pick Scott Pilgrim? Is that a rom-com?
You guys let me pick Phantom Thread, so I'm gonna. I'll run with it.
It's definitely more. I think so.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I'm taking it to the panel. We still have democracy on this podcast, so just want to. Okay. All right. Gauging it. All right, Shawn, take us home. Give us a last couple that you really like.
I hope this counts. Crazy Stupid Love is a great modern.
Counts. Absolutely.
It is about goddamn time someone here said Crazy Stupid Love. Guys, I've been listening to this whole thing, waiting on pins and needles for someone to say Crazy Stupid Love, and I was going to stop this podcast if someone didn't say it. So, Shawn, thank you for ending on a good note.
You're welcome.
The voice of God is so good.
It's a great movie, and every time I'm online and like a movie account gets on my thread, like a For You thing, they always post the scene with the twist. I won't spoil in case anyone listening or anyone that's doesn't know the twist, but that whole scene where everything gets revealed, like it's iconic. It really is, and it's a great romantic comedy that just perfectly balances different storylines. So that one's great. I'm sick, so so La La Land, like it's not a comedy, but there's like good aspects of it. But my god, that movie breaks my heart. The Lost City a couple years ago with Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock, I thought that was cute.
Yeah. Sandy B still got those rom-com roots, man. She knows what she's doing.
Mm-hmm. And speaking
Lost City, is that the one with Brad Pitt? Like where they
Brad
Pitt has a cameo in it.
I remember that. Yeah, I did see that one. Yeah.
It's basically a remake of Romancing the Stone, but it's a good one. So yeah.
Like Marty said, like insane concept that like it kind of pays off. It's an insane movie that gets insaner as it goes on. And then speaking of Sandra Bullock, I saw The Proposal last year, and that's like pre now Ryan Reynolds, where everyone can't stand him. But I thought he was likable in that movie. I like Ryan Reynolds. I'm not gonna trash on him, but I know everyone hates him now, or a lot of people do, because of his oversaturation and everything, which is fair. But back then, at least very likable. I thought the movie was good. They had good chemistry, and yeah, just a crazy premise that worked out in the end. And like we talked about this whole podcast, this comes down to actors with chemistry and likability. And Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds in 2009. I mean, that's as likable as you're gonna get. So I'll take that.
Nice.
Did anyone
Oh, definitely maybe with Ryan Reynolds too.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, definitely maybe it's pretty good too. Yeah.
Did anyone here see Palm Springs as well? That's
Yes.
Yeah.
Palm
That's
Springs,
another great underrated one.
You keep bringing out the I didn't think of
These
that.
hidden gems. Oh my
Palm
god.
Springs is fabulous. I've seen that like 3 times.
Nice, Zach.
But I mentioned one more that I haven't heard
please.
anybody say. Mississippi Masala is great. It's a Denzel Washington movie. It sort of deals with conflict between Indian and Black families in a community. It's actually directed by Zoran Mandami's mother. It's in the Criterion Collection. It's it's so sweet, and you get kind of a cultural education too.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and it's like young Denzel, baby.
Wow.
So he's like 40.
Okay.
I think that's actually true. I think he is like 40 or so. It's a great movie.
Okay. All right. I'll check it out. And I'm going to do one more. We're just going to close it out on this one because it is the start of the rom-com. But I don't know if you guys have seen it, but have any of you guys seen It Happened One Night?
Oh, I need to.
But I know that's one of the 3 movies that won the Big 5 at the Oscars.
Yeah, so it Happened One Night is literally the invention of the rom-com. Like, the genre doesn't exist until It Happens One Night. Like, that is basically every trope is born out of this. Everybody's just remaking It Happened One Night. So I watched it last year for the first time, and I was like, oh, I see. This is actually kind of fun to watch the birth of a genre. But it's really good. Chemistry is great. Hijinks are great. Very funny. Really, really solid. So I would encourage anybody, if you're like, oh, I wonder how the rom-com started. Like, that's a really, really good one to kind of go back and see like the birth of a genre. And it's really solid. It's really good. So, but there are plenty of rom-coms out there. So if we have missed any, you can please chime in the comments. Let us know, hey, we missed this one, just like Thomas did with his voice of God for Crazy Super Love. There he is. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us. This was a fun romp in our version of Tuscany in our own homes on a podcast. Apparently we're boring, according to Anna. I couldn't believe she said that. I was so mad. Oh my God. Anyways, it's totally beside the point. Michael, tell everybody where they can find you.
King of Burbank on X and Instagram, and I do reviews in ForReel, Film Obsessive, Professor Horror, and Merry-Go-Round Magazine.
Awesome. Marty.
You can find my reviews on ForReel and on socials, most platforms, Marty_Milkman.
Awesome. And Zach?
I'm on Twitter, and I write reviews on my Substack as well.
And Shawn?
Nice. You can find my video reviews, peer reviews on TikTok and Instagram and other social media. Also, my letterbox SPeer13, where you can see my many funny reviews.
Elite review. It's so good. And then you guys can find me at DRock Comedy on pretty much all socials. That's DROK Comedy. You can follow me on Letterboxd, X, Instagram, Facebook. It's just my name. You can follow all of my written work on that hashtag show at nerdbot.com, as well as find all of our video content here at ForReel. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will catch you on the next podcast. Esca.